Hi, everybody. This is Jimmy DeYoung. Welcome to Prophecy Today video. On this telecast today, we're going to do, as we do each week, we're going to discuss current events in our world today as they seem to be setting the stage for Bible prophecy to be fulfilled. We do that also on our radio broadcast, Prophecy Today Weekend, which is heard across the nation and around the world on our 24/7 internet radio station, Prophecy Today Radio. By the way, you can go to our website, prophecytoday.com, and hear some of the conversations I had with our broadcast partners as it relates to current events, and then we see all the details they tell us about so I can take a look at the book, as we're going to do here in just a moment. Bob McGinnis talked with me this last weekend about Obama being in Europe and the G8 meeting. David Dolan, he gave his reaction to the Prime Minister's speech in front of Congress from the Israeli body politic and what the Palestinians and the Arabs are saying. And Dr. Rob Congdon was also covering the Obama trip throughout Europe, the European Union, and the fact that the Prime Minister's speech only brought to the attention of anybody who wants to watch that the European Union is getting more anti-Semitic day by day. All of these interviews are located at our website, prophecytoday.com. Go to PTRN. You can listen to every one of the interviews. But my conversation with Rabbi Yoel Karen and his statement about the miracle that took place when the Israeli Defense Force captured and reunited the city of Jerusalem in 1967. That was key in our discussion with the rabbi, but also in our discussion now as we take a look at the book and focus on the city of Jerusalem. The word Jerusalem is used 764 times in the entire Bible. Amazing how God focuses on the city of Jerusalem. In fact, he told the prophet Ezekiel, write it down, Ezekiel, Jerusalem is the center of the earth, and I'm going to put all the other nations around them. By the way, that's Ezekiel 5:5. 2 Samuel chapter 5 records the events surrounding King David's capture of the city when he took it from the Jebusites, who had it as a stronghold there between Benjamin and Judah. Remember, after the 12 tribes divided, 10 went to the north, that would be Israel. 2 stayed in the south, and that would be Judah and Benjamin. When all 12 tribal leaders asked King David to become the king of all of Israel, he had to establish a neutral location, so he established Jerusalem as the undivided, eternal capital of the Jewish people. That's 2 Samuel chapter 5. You can read the account. By the way, David did that about 3,000 years ago. That's how long Jerusalem has been the center of the earth for the Jewish people and the capital. It was made the spiritual capital when David brought the Ark of the Covenant there, 2 Samuel chapter 6. You know, Jesus said in Luke chapter 21 and verse 24, this is a part of his Olivet discourse that he gives on Monday afternoon of Passion Week. He said that Jerusalem would be trodden down under the feet of the Gentiles until he returns to the earth. And that's exactly what is taking place. Today, Jerusalem is quickly becoming more and more the center of controversy, even as Zechariah the prophet predicted it would. Zechariah said that, of course, in Zechariah 12:2, when he said it would be a cup of trembling and a burdensome stone in verse 3. Cup of trembling, talking about people being intoxicated with the power that they have over the control of the city of Jerusalem. Jesus, in a pre-incarnate appearance to Zechariah, you can go back to Zechariah chapter 1 to see this, in verse 14, he said that he was jealous. That Hebrew flavor of that word is aggressively possessive of the city of Jerusalem. In verse 15 of Zechariah 1, he said he was displeased, sore displeased, with those who were arrogantly secure controlling it. And those are the ones who have become intoxicated with power, like the Palestinians and the Arab world, controlling the Temple Mount as custodians with the Islamic Trust there. But in verse 16 of Zechariah 1, Jesus told Zechariah the prophet that he would return to Jerusalem and build his temple there. Zechariah 6:12 says he will build a temple. That's for the kingdom period. And then, of course, Zechariah 6:13 said he would rule and reign from that particular spot. But why Jerusalem? Well, let me tell you, it is the original site of the Garden of Eden. Every single Orthodox Jewish scholar agrees with what I've just said. Only us Johnny-come-latelys think it's over there in Iraq between the Tigris and the Euphrates. There's only one river in the city of Jerusalem. It's the Gihon. Now remember, in the book of Genesis chapter 2, there are 4 rivers mentioned: Tigris, Euphrates, Gihon, and Pishon. We don't know where the Pishon is. We know where the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers are. But remember, they're there now after the flood, after the topography of the earth has been completely changed 4,500 years ago. The only river that is located in the city of Jerusalem is the Gihon River. That's where King David got water to anoint his son Solomon to be king of Israel. It's where the priest would go to get the water libation for the temple services. It's where God gave Adam and Eve dominion over the world in the Garden of Eden. Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 to 28. He gave them dominion over all of creation in the world. And remember, that was the first Adam he did that for. The last Adam, Jesus Christ, will also be given dominion. The Bible says in Daniel chapter 7, verses 13 and 14, the Ancient of Days, that would be God the Father, will give to the Son of Man, that would be Jesus Christ, dominion, a kingdom. And it's going to be located in the exact same spot it was when the first Adam was there, the Garden of Eden, which is the Temple Mount in the city of Jerusalem. You ever wonder why the Muslim world wants Jerusalem so much? It's because they also agree. The Mufti of Jerusalem, Sheikh Sabri, told me that Temple Mount, he calls it Al-Aqsa, dated back to Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden. So they understand that. The Bible talks about Joel 2:3, that the mightiest army in the world will make its way towards the Garden of Eden, the city of Jerusalem, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, to try to capture it in the last days. And we see, of course, that coalition of nations coming together very quickly. Jerusalem is indeed the center of the earth. It's the Garden of Eden original site. It will be the center of controversy. It is today and will only intensify as we go into the tribulation period, which begins, by the way, right after the rapture of the church. Do you remember how the scenario unfolds? The next event in God's calendar of activities would be the rapture of the church. After that, we'll see the appearance of Antichrist. He confirms a peace treaty. That starts the clock ticking on the 7-year tribulation period. That goes for 7 years. Then Jesus Christ comes back to Jerusalem and builds his temple on the Temple Mount, the Garden of Eden, right there in the city of Jerusalem. By the way, I said that next event's the rapture. I want to tell you something. With everything we've talked about on this broadcast today, it would seem to me the rapture could happen at any moment. And having made that statement, there's nothing left for me to say except let's keep looking up until.